All right, welcome in. It is time for Total Bases. It is Wednesday. I'm still kind of in the dark here in the middle. That'll be fixed tomorrow. I got a new laptop. I love it, but I'm still playing around with the settings. And this camera, for whatever reason, I'm darker. So back to the old camera tomorrow, but I had to buy a little input for it. So you're going to have to deal with an oddly colored trig in the middle, kind of in the dark, kind of not. Hopefully, it's not ruining the show for you guys. The point of this show, though, is to bring good info. I think we did that for the most part yesterday. I had a pretty good day. I went 2-0, won both of my baseball plays, had the Rays. Bryan Leonard, I know you gave out the Rays on the show. I hope that made your card. And how was your Tuesday night?
I couldn't ask for anything better. 3-0, and I won my free play. I had Miami. I thought I was in really good shape, and then they were actually losing at the bottom of the ninth inning. I thought they were going to blow that. Luckily enough, they came back, so we were able to sweep. But a real something that wasn't a game that we were sweating. All of a sudden, we were sweating.
Yeah, that was a crazy game. Glad you got the walk-off. I see Ocho 100K says Marcy for the game winner. Yeah, that was pretty awesome. Always great to get out of extra innings, getting one going your way. I feel like I've had more extra innings go against me this year than have gone my way. But Tokyo Braden, how did your Tuesday night go? Hopefully a sweep for you as well.
Not quite a sweep. I was on the precipice of going 3-1 until the Dodgers decided to drop the ball 2 times and give that game away. Funny, let me just take a minute. I was listening to the radio broadcast with Rick Monday, and he mentioned a really interesting statistic about the Colorado Rockies. They are number 1 in Major League Baseball in scoring in the 8th and 9th innings of baseball games. That's just a crazy stat. It blew my mind, but
makes a lot of sense, though. If you realize Colorado, the worst team in baseball, the other team, it doesn't have to use their closer on them, so they're using the middle relievers. So that's why that's the case.
They score more than any other team in the 8th and 9th innings combined.
Because they're not number 1.
Yeah, interesting stat. But I went 2-2, and then I just won a 4% on Doosan and KBO and lost a small one. So kind of breaking even. It's a little frustrating.
Yeah, that's a great point, and that was going to be my answer as well, Brian. They face a lot of mop-up relievers. They're usually not in as many of these games, but to the Rockies' credit, they're playing extremely well this year. I didn't think they were going to come back and win last night, but they have they don't quit. You know, for what they maybe lack some other areas, this team does not quit, and it I think it'll help the Rockies down the road. Still probably a 60-win team at 60-65-win team at absolute best this year, but it'll help them down the road. All right, the live chat is filling up. We're going to start with it's a national TV doubleheader on ESPN. That's what I remember from growing up. If you grew up as a kid in the early 90s, your chance to watch out-of-market games was always the Wednesday night ESPN doubleheader. I always used to get yelled at from my parents because I wanted to stay up and watch that 10 p.m. Eastern game that they always had here on the East Coast. I know Bryan Leonard will tell me that the West Coast is better for sports watching. I don't know. I used to love staying up to watch that 10 p.m. Eastern West Coast start. We're going to start with the early one today, though. This is the Phillies. They're going to take on the Reds. We know who's pitching for the Reds. He's one of the most exciting pitchers in Major League Baseball right now, exciting young guys in Chase Burns. The Phillies, maybe not so much. Does it even matter here, Brian? Do you care who's opposing Chase Burns in this game?
Obviously, the lines maker doesn't, because a lot of them already have lines up on the game. They've got Burns about a 142 favorite with a total of 9 to the over against undecided. So you see this a lot, and a lot of the sharper books won't put anything up, but a lot of the public books will. They've got a better idea of who's going to be in this game than we do at this point. So it's tougher to bet into those early games because they're usually, most of the time they're in pretty good shape. But yeah, Cincinnati dead last in Major League Baseball on WRC Plus. Burns on the mound. Burns is obviously an elite pitcher, elite strikeout pitcher. He's been, as TB points out, I think every time he has been very consistent all season long going against this Philadelphia team, who's is an underdog. at this time, and Philadelphia's playing really good ball lately. But it's rarely that you're going to get plus money by playing them, especially when Schwarber's as hot as he is, hitting those homers. So, I'm not going to, without knowing who's going to pitch for Philadelphia, I didn't give this one a second look until the lineups come out. And everything's an evening game except for Toronto, San Francisco. That's about a 1 o'clock Eastern start. That's your early play. But other than that, everything's at night. So we've got no reason to rush in without knowing who's going to be pitching for Philadelphia.
So Tokyo Brandon, I think it's going to be a gentleman by the name of Chuck King. I think that's who's likely going for Philly. He is a guy that I've seen a few times for Lehigh Valley. He's not a highly touted prospect. He's 28 years old. I do have a buddy that went to TCU and follows TCU baseball very closely. That's where he went to college. I do believe this will be his major league debut. Numbers are not overly impressive at the minor league level. So I'm not sure it really matters. Like I said, I don't know if he's going to be out there for 3 innings, for 5. He's been starting games for Lehigh Valley. Tokyo Brandon, does it matter? Are we just taking Chase Burns and the Reds here to get it done at home? Seems like kind of a fair price.
You guys know how I feel about X factors, and that's definitely an X factor today when a guy's making his debut. As I always say, he could come out and throw 5 shutout innings, or he could come out and get blown up. So I really don't know what to expect there. But what I do know is the Reds are hitting 25th out of 30 in current form, and the Phillies are hitting 11. So anytime you get the superior pitcher going against the better lineup, it always makes me want to lean towards an under. So if you're dying to bet this game, I think under would probably be the way to go. But, I would rather make an educated hypothesis on my money rather than guess and gamble. So I'll probably stay away from this one, but I would lean to an under if I had to bet it.
I think I'd be pretty comfortable taking the Reds here. I thought that this would have been a much bigger. Brian, what'd you say it is? Like minus 140? Something minus 140
range, yeah.
Yeah, like I would have expected the books to tax Burns against an unknown a little bit more. I think the point I'll make here is this is not a prospect. This is not like some kid with a live arm that's like going to be a star at some point. This is a 28-year-old journeyman guy. He's been in the minors for years, played 4 years of college baseball. Career ERA in the minors is like 4.40, less than a strikeout per inning. Seems like a guy to me when I watch a ton of AAA baseball. These are the types of guys that become your sort of AAA innings eater type guys. They hang around. They're reliable. They don't get hurt. They can go in and throw 6 innings, 5 innings in a AAA game and not get killed. That's kind of what Chuck King is here. For me, like I was surprised to see him in this spot because he just didn't seem like a guy that they would call up. But my guess is a couple of things. One, they probably want to give him some MLB service time, give him a debut. 2, we're going into the All-Star break, so they're probably looking at, maybe giving some other guys, not burning them out with a start here, having to call them up. Everyone's about to get a week off. And 3, the guy that's down there that would take this rotation spot, Andrew Painter, is working on some mechanical stuff. So they're not going to bring him back up when the whole point of sending him down was to fix his mechanics. So this is sort of a weird situation where I think you're getting a chance to fade a truly AAA arm at the big league level, and you're getting Chase Burns, and he's at home, and you only have to pay $1.40. I mean, this seems like a pretty good opportunity to back the Reds, in my opinion. So I'd look at the Reds here. I wouldn't be surprised if once this gets announced, this might be minus 180. You might be getting some value right now with minus 140. I can't see that staying there.
What do you think about the team total? 4.5 over 120.
So I'd be curious to see how long they keep him in. But like he has been it's not like he's a reliever. Like he is a starter. He starts every 5th day for Lehigh Valley. He starts. His last couple outings in the minors have been 5, 6, 7 innings. So if the whole, I don't think the Phillies are just going to like go to the bullpen early here. So you might get a team total over. Again, like anything can happen. Like TB says, he comes up, he's jacked up, he gets a couple outs early, and maybe he pitches well. But is he going to outpitch Chase Burns? I don't know. Probably not. I kind of lean toward the Reds. Yeah, this is Brian, I kind of dodged your question. I feel like I would say, yeah, team total probably gets there, but I have less of opinion on the team total than I do the Reds.
And you also have the worst hitting team in baseball.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and that's actually another point. Now I have to double check this, but yeah, I mean, listen, King is a right-handed pitcher. The Reds have been awful against most pitching, but also right-handed pitching. They're near the bottom of the league. So do what you will with that. My gut reaction to this was the Reds should be a bigger favorite in this game. All right, let's move it along. Let's see. Someone in the chat saying it's a bullpen game. Like it definitely could be. That's why you got to keep an eye on that. It definitely could be a bullpen game, but I did read on Twitter that they plan to call him up. And I'd imagine just based on his role in the minors that he's at least a bulk guy. So if you see an opener in front of him, it's like, this is going to be like Alan Rangel 2.0. It's what the Phillies have been doing where they're going to like let him throw a bulk outing and maybe it's good, maybe it's not. We'll see. All right, let's head to the chat. Let's get a different game in here. Well, you know what? Let's just do part 2 of the national doubleheader. Tokyo Brandon, I'll go to you. Someone was joking in the comments yesterday, like this game comes up every day, and it's like, well, Major League Baseball has been putting these guys on national TV this week, so we keep talking Diamondbacks Padres because that's the game that the entire country is getting. The second half of the nationally televised doubleheader tonight is Diamondbacks Padres. D-backs take the opener in this series. Last night, the Pirates bounced back, 4-1 win, 5 runs in the first inning, and then nothing the rest of the game, which with those pitchers is kind of baffling. The Padres get it done, so now we have the rubber match of the series. TV, D-backs Padres to you. How do you see this one?
So, again, the Padres, my albatross, can't win a Padres game to save my life, but I do like King. I think acquiring him from the Yankees a couple years ago was a great move on their part. Yankees didn't really use him much of a starter, but the Padres are, and he's been doing quite well. Although you wouldn't know it by his 5-7 record. Padres' record is not great, 24-22 at home, so that's pretty darn good. And Michael King has amazing numbers against these Diamondbacks. 62 at-bats against a 194 average and a 594 OPS. I would take those numbers any day. I think it's Padres or nothing here. I like King. I like him much better than Cabrera in this situation. Looking at how they match up, the one thing the Padres you got to be careful about is that bullpen, though, because although they do have talent, they're performing dead last in MLB in current form. Could be because they've been losing a lot of games. But Diamondbacks bullpen, surprisingly, is ranked top 5, according to my rankings in current form, where I got both lineups fairly even. Huge pitching matchup. I think Padres' first 5 would probably be the way to go in this. If you think you can trust that bullpen to get a couple innings, King's not a guy who goes ultra deep into games, so that bullpen will probably be called on for 3, maybe 4 innings. So be careful taking a full game with the Padres, at least how their bullpen's playing right now.
I still think the Padres have a really good bullpen. Like, I will say this though, some of the bridge guys this year, Brian, haven't been as good for San Diego. They, everyone knows. I mean, you can ask a 7-year-old baseball fan knows you get the ball to Mason Miller, it's probably game over. And that's, of course, he comes in last night, another perfect inning, gets the save, only threw 14 pitches. So you'll see him at the end here. But I do get what TB is saying a little bit, where it's like the depth guys for the Padres this year haven't been as good. So if you're only going to get 5 innings from a starter, then you've got the Matsuis and so some of those guys. But again, they still have pretty good numbers. I would have to I'd push back a little bit. Like, I still think the Padres have a phenomenal bullpen relative to the rest of the league, what they should be. And Brian, I'll let you sort of finish this handicap up. The Diamondbacks dead last in WRC plus this year against right-handed pitching. This will be the best righty they've seen in the series. So I'm kind of with TB, another good spot for the Padres.
I will push back. Mason Miller's pitched 3 of the last 4 days.
Yes.
And he's thrown double-digit pitches each of those. I kind of doubt they would use him today. But other than that, yeah, I agree with everything that was said. I don't trust either offense here, and we're looking at basically Kings about a 140 favorite, 8 to the over, 8.5 to the under, pretty even out there. I like Cabrera a little bit. I think I played him last week or the week before. King's the guy that TB talked about. He doesn't go very long in the game, so you do have to worry about that. But even though I don't think Miller's going to play, I think they're pretty well set for the rest of the bullpen. But I kind of like the under here. I like Cabrera better than a lot. And King's a guy that isn't going to be scared away by this Arizona offense. And you mentioned, Trig, that they haven't hit well versus righties. They seem to be a lot better at home. But if I'm willing to play that 8.5, I see 8.5 unders minus anywhere from 110 to 120 out there. If you get a 115 or under, I think it's worthy of a bet here. Don't know if it makes my card, but I expect a lower scoring game out of these two here.
Brian, I'm at 8.2 on the total. I definitely agree with you looking at the under. Like Tokyo Brandon said, the Diamondbacks bullpen's been surprisingly good this year, and they really didn't use anyone yesterday, just a 2 innings from a couple of different guys. Didn't really have to use anyone on Monday because they won the game 8-0, and it was, they didn't need the leverage guys at the end of that game. And I too like Jose Cabrera. I've actually been a little bit disappointed with Jose Cabrera so far because I liked him so much coming up from the minors. I love his pitch mix. I think he has really good stuff. And the last 2 times out, he's especially in that Brewers game, it kind of felt like he was just a little bit scared to go in the zone and trust his stuff. Couple walks, really started to nibble in that game, got behind in counts, and just like didn't want to throw the ball in the zone. Whereas if you go back to his major league debut against the Twins, all he did was throw the ball in the zone. So I hope he can make that adjustment here because I too think he's got big league stuff. I think he's a guy that is one of the better pitchers in their organization right now. I liked when they called him up. And so, yeah, I could get down with an under if you can get 8.5 here as well. All right, let's so I guess I should say I do have a 5% play in Major League Baseball tonight. That's up on my page. I went 2-0 last night. Think I'm up right around 50 units across all baseball this season, and plus 96 units in the calendar year of 2026 so far. 94.58. I just did the math before the show. So having a really good year. Love the play that I have locked in on the basis tonight. It's a 5% play, and you can get that, pair it with one of the other guys as part of the double play package, or check out the various specials for July that WagerTalk has now put up on everyone's pages because there's a bunch of different good ways to save money on the site, which is always what you should try to be doing. If you're going to buy, I'll always preach this. If you're going to buy picks, be in it for the long haul. Try to get yourself a discount on one of the longer term packages, whether it's myself or Tokyo Brandon or Bryan Leonard. What do either of you guys have stuff up for sale at this time?
I have nothing as of yet. I will as soon as the show's over, and I quite possibly will have a 5% also. I just need to do a couple more things to verify. 35-13 run, 9-1 on 4 and 5% plays. Yeah, can't complain at all.
I have 3 plays up in MLB today. I'm up 60 units on the calendar year. So yeah, things are going all right. A double play, guys, you can get 3 days all access to 2 of us for a huge discount. So check out a double play. Good way to go. Great value.
All right, let's go to the lone day game. This seems to be getting some run in the chat. So let's go to the lone day game. This is going to be Blue Jays Giants, a great pitching matchup. Logan Webb, I guess I'm just going to give him a pass. I don't really know what happened in his, well, I guess Coors Field happened. I guess Colorado happened in his most recent start. But 2 guys have been throwing the ball well. Dylan Cease was a guy that coming into the year I thought would be in the mix to win the AL Cy Young. So these two will go in a rubber match in the Bay today, this afternoon. Brian, Blue Jays Giants. Kick us off with this one.
Yeah, Cease and Webb. I did go back and check Webb after that. The numbers were bad. He had faced Colorado in Colorado one earlier time this year, and his results were good, but his base numbers were not good. So next time he does play in Colorado, keep that in mind. He didn't really pitch that well, even though the numbers showed it the first time. But yeah, we got Cease and Webb. We're looking at basically Toronto's about a 115 favorite, total of 7. And I don't do a lot of numbers with day and night. I'd be interested to see if anybody else does a lot of that with San Francisco, because they don't play a lot of earlier games. They normally play at night, obviously being on the West Coast. Just wondering if it's a better hitting environment during the day as opposed to night. Without looking at some of my other numbers, I can look it up. But anyway, Cease is a guy who's going to strike a lot of people out here. And San Francisco, I'm not a huge fan of their offense in the first place. The Toronto offense has not performed very well. I mentioned the first baseman has not had a very good season. And I think they're going to struggle here against Webb. If you take a look at what Webb has done this year, after a poor performance, he usually comes out and pitches very well the next time out. His home road dichotomy, he's been so much better at home. He's got like a 2.2 ERA at home and like a 5.8 on the road. A lot of that had to do with his last time out, but still, you're catching him in his preferred environment, which is pitching at home. Cease, as much as he strikes people out, he's as good at home as he is on the road, if you ask me, in that situation. Toronto's got an elite closer, and yeah, I kind of like the under here. I know it's low. It's 7 to the under. I'm even seeing a 6.5 out there at one place, heavily juiced to the over. But if I'm playing this one, I expect it to be a low-scoring game.
TB, jump in here. Blue Jays Giants. How you seeing this one?
Yeah. Surprisingly, Toronto is the worst hitting team in current form right now. I got them ranked 30 out of 30 right now. They are not hitting at all right now. Giants got them a little better than mediocre as far as hitting is concerned. Toronto, like Brian said, bullpen in great shape, doing really well. And Cease, I mean, my numbers love Cease, especially his expected numbers. Love him much better than his, 5-6, 5-4 record. So, records don't mean a lot. Just like ERA is not the tell-all for pitchers. You got to look a little deeper. But man, I think Cease is pitching really well right now. And if you look at how he's pitched against these batters, actually very mediocre, 250 against and a 751 OPS, not great. But Webb has been absolutely tagged by these Blue Jays batters, 333 average against and an 849 OPS. A lot of guys doing damage against him, but the way their bats are batting right now, yeah, it'd be under or nothing for me. But I think the under is at 7 or something. It's pretty hard to take a 7. Yeah, 7 is rough. Maybe I might take a flyer on the Toronto team total over in the first 5, maybe if it's 1.5, but probably not going to bet it. Too many things conflicting here for me.
Yeah, I mean, listen. When both of these guys are on, these are two of the elite starting pitchers in Major League Baseball. It's gonna be really difficult to find like flaws with either of these starters. I guess Cease can be his own worst enemy at times. Like usually, if he's pitching poorly, it's because he's like let one little thing snowball into like other stuff. Typically it's his command of the strike zone. If he nibbles and misses a little bit, he'll start walking guys. But that's very I think you'd be nitpicking a little bit to find like real issues with either of these guys this year. Of course, Logan Webb, again, I think I'll just give him a pass on the Coors Field blow up, which is very much affecting his numbers now. That was ugly. Big crooked number there for him last time out at Coors. If you subscribe to day or night mattering, Logan Webb, 1.70 ERA during the day, and his ERA is a little bit lower at home. So maybe he, for as much as he clearly doesn't prefer pitching at Coors Field, maybe he does prefer pitching at home during the day. I guess the only thing I have on this one is my numbers make the Giants a slight favorite here. Right now, you can get them as a slight underdog at home. Some would say getting Logan Webb as a dog at home is some value right there. But for me, I've been a little bit higher than the market recently on the Blue Jays. And of course, I really like Dylan Cease. So kind of a tough one. I think if you forced a lean out of me for this afternoon game, I'd be looking to the Giants. This is a game I'll probably go back and dig in a little bit more. But man, it's tough to oppose either of these guys. And I feel like these two teams are very even right now, even though both kind of trying to figure it out. Both have kind of underachieved to this point in the year. I've said this a couple of times. I still think the Giants have far more talent than their record indicates. But again, who knows if they'll turn the corner with this college coach that they, the route that they went. It just, I don't know. It's an interesting matchup. It's really hard to make an argument against either of these pitchers though. So again, I'll say a little bit of value on the Giants, lean Giants if I had to bet this one. All right, let's head back to the chat. Let's see. Let's go. All right. I mean, we can listen. Let's talk about. I know we were going to bring it up. So of course, Tokyo Brandon, I'll let you start this one off. I was surprised that the Dodgers blew that for us last night and that they cost us the parlay, even with them not hitting Michael Lorenzen. They kind of let Lorenzen hang around and have a half decent start, but I just didn't see a scenario where they lost that game and they managed to lose that game. So let's talk Dodgers Rockies. Really kind of, is this the Dodgers just sort of going into coast mode? They're going into the All-Star break because, man, that looked back-to-back nights now. They've almost given a game away late. Monday they got out of it. Last night they didn't. So what do you do with Dodgers Rockies here?
Yeah, this is a tough one. Don't know a lot about Hughes. Maybe you guys can fill people in better on him, Gabriel Hughes here, but he only has 3 innings under his belt. And he pitched well in those 3 innings, but he's going to face quite the different monster here. Dodgers are a little bit more terrorizing than the Giants. Sasaki's been one of those guys who looks really good sometimes and looks really bad other times. Which one are we going to get today? Not sure. Neither bullpen performing very well, although the Dodgers have more talent in their bullpen. They're certainly not performing well, as we saw yesterday and the day before, where Tanner Scott practically gift wrapped that game for them to give it away, but they didn't take it from him. So, both lineups hitting really well. I would think over or nothing. Both teams are just smashing. I can't believe the Dodgers couldn't score against Lorenzen and his 7+ ERA and his 1.8 whip, but they couldn't. That's how it goes sometimes. I mean, they had their chances, but they couldn't knock them in. And as I mentioned earlier, the Colorado Rockies are the best 8th, 9th inning scoring team in all of Major League Baseball. I think over or nothing for me. Tanner Scott might be coming in to gift wrap more runs for them. So I would go over in this. I don't think we're going to see dead on Roki Sasaki today.
Brian, I'll go. You watch the first 2 games of this series. The Rockies are clearly playing hard. They're playing 9 innings of baseball. They don't give up. It's a bunch of young guys that don't really know better at this point. A lot of them are just like guys that have come through the Rockies organization, probably thrilled to be getting in their chance. Major League Baseball. I often joke that sometimes the Rockies have it's like a 56-man 4A roster Like if you could just interchange half the guys out at Albuquerque, it'd probably be the same team. But they play hard, and they've been a live dog this year. So far, they've been a live dog in this series. If you bet them plus 1.5, you got great numbers both nights. I think even plus money in at least one of those, and it's hit both nights. If you bet them as a straight up underdog, you had a chance to win on Monday. They came all the way back, tied the game in the ninth, and yesterday they win the game. So I guess my question to you, Brian, is I don't like the Dodgers just seem like they're in coast mode going into the All-Star break. Do you think the Rockies are live in this spot?
No, I don't. Excuse me. Gabriel Hughes is the first round draft pick from 22. If you take a look at all their numbers in their rankings of their pitchers in the minors, he's organizational rank number 24. He was 18 last year, so he's a pretty good pitcher. They like him for the future. He did pitch on Friday. He's came into this organization. They expected him to be the long reliever. He threw 53 pitches on Friday and got the save. If you pitch long enough, they'll give you that save no matter what. If you pitch 3 innings, they'll give you a save no matter what the score is. So, he's a guy that they think highly of, and we'll see how long he goes here. I will point out that if you do like Colorado, keep in mind Jordan Romano, who was in AAA just a week ago, has pitched 3 of the last 4 days. So he will not be your closer if you do have like Colorado here. The Dodgers are just so good off of a loss. They could tease and play, and we talked about this 2 days ago, and I said, because the Dodgers had to come back in the first game of the series, and I said, that's what good teams do. The Yankees used to do it. The Dodgers do it. Last night they couldn't do it, and they waited too long. So I expect a really good effort out of LA. The problem is you got Rocky Sasaki on the mound, and Colorado's hit better on the road than they have at home this year. So they'll get there. So maybe the over, but I expect the Dodgers to win the game.
I think if I was forced to bet this one, my numbers suggest there's a ton of value on the Rockies here, so I would take Rockies plus 1.5. But like Brian said, it's a little bit tougher to do that with the Dodgers coming off of a loss, and then there's always the possibility that the Dodgers just show up and suddenly you're down 10-2, and so that for that reason, I likely will not be on. So Omni, no, it looks like, and this is the other thing I was kind of looking for. Now, Omni, if this was the case, I think I'd be more inclined to take that Rockies plus 1.5 if they were going to piggyback Feltner after Hughes, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they're using Hughes as a starter here and pushing Feltner to tomorrow. That's what I believe I've read. So, yeah, with Feltner not in the mix, and maybe you get Hughes, and he could be good for 3 or 4 innings, but you get a little bit deeper into that bullpen, and that is where the Rockies tend to break down from a pitching standpoint. They've got a couple of good relievers. You've seen the last couple nights. Like, they have a couple of good sort of like high leverage guys that are probably better than you think they are. Where the Rockies struggle a little bit is depth. And this is back-to-back nights now where they've had to eat up some leverage innings. So let's say Hughes gives you 3 or 4. Well, you're still going to have to figure out the last 5 innings of the game. And that's where it gets a little dicey for me with the Rockies here. But I do see like there's definitely line value. The plus 1.5 could come into play yet again. But the situation is not as good as it has been the last couple days. Someone's like Adam is in hiding. Listen, I got a new laptop, which is great. I love it. I'm still working out the kinks with the camera. And what I realized I needed to do was buy. So they buy a hub. Brian says, move it along. I'll have my lighting fixed tomorrow. He says we don't care about the lighting.
Nobody cares. We still haven't put out any picks yet, right? Am I right?
Well, listen, we've broken down 4 games. I think I've given out a couple picks. We just haven't locked anything in for the parlay. So since you're so fired up to do that, why don't you give us your parlay leg right here?
Yeah, if nobody's ever noticed, Adam likes to talk about a lot of things that pop into his head, and we only got so much time.
NHL's over. We got all day. But yeah,
I'm the bad guy in that situation. Okay.
And Brian's wearing that stupid shirt again.
This is after the Dodgers lost that parlay last night. You're lucky. This is all I wear. Anyway, I do really.
Or shirtless would be okay too.
I do really like this card. I'm going to. There's a few games I liked. Let's take a look at the Atlanta-Pittsburgh game. I'm going to play Pittsburgh here. Jones is about a 115 favorite. Total of 9 to the over, 9.5 to the under. I just think Pittsburgh, one negative, obviously a huge negative. Their rookie shortstop got hurt, and he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. That's pretty devastating because they had just gotten him back. But if you've ever watched Marco D'Angelo in any of his videos, he loves the injured player situation. Unfortunately for Pittsburgh, they've had to have that too often this year. But I like the Pirates here. Even without the shortstop. Yesterday, the runs were going up in Atlanta's bullpen. I'm struggling a little bit right now. Obviously, the other day, the closer did not pitch well. So we're catching the Atlanta bullpen in a situation where I think we might be able to take advantage of it a little bit. I like Jones better than Holmes. Holmes is only there because of all the injuries they've had. He's done pretty well in his career, but I don't have him very highly rated. So we've got the better pitcher here against a team that the way Pittsburgh's hitting right now, I like them a lot better, and you're getting less than 120 here. So let's go Pittsburgh minus 115 is my parlay piece today.
Brian, I love it. It would have been mine if you didn't use it. I think you're on the right track here. Listen, Jared Jones, Tokyo Braden, we talked about him. He a couple of times since he's returned, couldn't quite figure out why. He looks so dominant in his rehab. And of course, this is a guy that pre-injury, you have to go back a couple of years, but pre-injury was looking like a legitimate ace caliber pitcher. And then he came out and looked dominant in his rehab. But in the big leagues, since he's returned, numbers aren't great. That being said, he's throwing 99 miles an hour. The stuff looks fine. And last time out against the Phillies, like 6 strikeouts. They haven't really let him go super deep yet. So that's interesting to me. Like some of it's they haven't let him go. Some of it he hasn't been super economical with his pitches. But for me, I'm still high on Jared Jones. I think he's going to only get better as the season goes on. And I like Brian's Pirates pick. Anything for you to add here on Pirates Braves?
I guess I'll be devil's advocate then, because I don't like the Pirates today, and I'll tell you why. Yesterday, they scored 12 runs on the Braves, and they held the Braves down to 4. And usually a team explodes like that. They come flat the next day. I expect the Pirates to be a little flat here. And the Braves are still a 52-win team. They're not chopped liver here. Granted, Holmes has been a little bit erratic, up and down a little bit. But if he's been erratic, then Jones has been erratic on steroids, because he's very up and down as well. You're right. He does have a lot of speed on the ball. But this Atlanta lineup, man, I could name every guy in their lineup. I can't name anyone on Pittsburgh's lineup. Granted, current form, Pittsburgh is hitting better than Atlanta, surprisingly, but I still think Atlanta's the better team. I think Atlanta's one of the best teams in MLB. And I don't know if Jones is going to have a good game or not. So I think the safe way to go here would be first 5 innings, Pittsburgh under 2.5. I think would be the safe way to go in this game, in my opinion.
The crazy thing about the Pirates, and I've said this a couple of TB, I've made that exact statement when it's come to the Pirates this year, was like, what is this lineup? Like, who are these guys? But
yeah.
And yes, no doubt about it. Taking O'Neal Cruz out, taking Connor Griffin out, waters it down a little bit. Like those 2 guys are going to be cornerstones of that lineup. They are 2 of the best players in the organization. But like you were getting to the point where you almost can't. Like we're in July now. This team has been top 10 in the league in WRC plus all year. You got guys like Brandon Lowe with 820 OPS, Brian Reynolds 870. Esmeralyn Valdez started the year in AAA. He might be their best hitter right now. I mean, he's been sensational since being called up. And that doesn't surprise me because he was a guy that coming into the year was on my radar as like a breakout guy in AAA. So the fact that they've sort of gone to him early, he's gotten his opportunity. Like, it doesn't surprise me that he's having the season that he's having. And then you've got guys like Tyler Callahan's down there being productive at the bottom of the order. Nick Gonzalez has been okay. It's actually a better offensive team than I think they're like that they get credit for sometimes, because I think everyone's so trained to be like, well, the Pirates are not good offensively and we don't know a lot of these names, but yet like the number, like if you just look at the numbers over the course of the season, they're always up there. They've been up there all season. Brian, where are they at on the WRC plus list right now? Probably still top 10. Are they top 5? Because they were flirting
Pittsburgh's
with
number 2, right behind the LA Dodgers.
Number 2. And again, so take out Cruz, take out Griffin. Yes, you have to water it down a little bit, but what does that make them? Like, they're still probably top 10. If they're top 2, if they're second in Major League Baseball with those guys, and you take them out, you have to do a little replacement player math. They're still probably a top 10 offensive team. So I almost think like, why not the Pirates with Jarrett Jones here? And Brian, I agree with you. Holmes is a guy that I'm willing to oppose. So yeah, I'm with you on the Pirates pick. Prop King, you don't want my old laptop. The thing is ready to be thrown in the garbage. That was the problem. Like it couldn't get through a show. So no, that thing is ready to get discarded. It was 5 years old. It had a good run. We're going to retire that thing to the trash. Tokyo Brandon, we need a parlay pick from you. Where do you want to go with your play today?
Yeah, I'm going to go to a game we have not covered yet. Last time I said that, we covered it the first game of the show, but I'm absolutely sure we have not covered this one yet. I'm going to go to Boston and the White Sox. 2 pitchers that I really like. And actually, Bennett, surprisingly, has been better than Martin. He's been great. Neither one of these lineups are really scaring me in current form right now. Throughout the bullpens, I think Davis Martin, Jake Bennett are going to hold everything down here. First 5 under is the way I'm going to go here. I think if we can get a 4.5, that would be just absolutely wonderful. Can we get a 4.5? I apologize. I did not do my homework on that. Let me take a look real quick. 4.5 is minus 122 on Pinnacle, but I don't know what it is in US books. But I think first 5 under 4.5 would be an excellent way to go here. I don't see either one of these lineups. Yeah, the White Sox are hitting okay, but they're not exactly striking the fear of God into anyone. So, and I think Bennett's pitching better than Davis Martin right now. So first 5 under in this game for me.
Under the 4.5 is minus 130.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
And get a double play, guys. Get a double play. 2 of your favorite 3 handicappers. 3 days. Huge discount. Go to wagertalk.com.
Yeah, Brian, we talked about this game yesterday, kind of having maybe some reservations about Noah Schultz. Turned into an easy winner for the Red Sox. They win the game 8-1. I like Bennett too. Like I would almost run it back with the Red Sox here. This was one that like I felt like the number was right on. Didn't really want to bet on the Red Sox after I passed on what I considered to be a better spot yesterday. How are you seeing the side in total or the side on this one?
I'll keep it short. I think the number's right. I agree with TB. I like both of these pitchers here, but not enough to make it a play for me.
And the under 4.5 for that first 5, you said is minus 130?
130, yes.
Yeah, I can't really. Again, this game was probably the closest in terms of like being right on the number. So I too don't have a ton to add here. And again, I'll just go back to the fact that I felt like yesterday was the better spot for the Red Sox. I missed it. I didn't play it, so I'm not going to come back and play it here. But if you did play the Red Sox yesterday, I see a couple people in the chat are like, run it, Red Sox. I couldn't really fault you from running it back. I think Jake Bennett's pretty solid. And like TB said, Davis Martin, maybe a little bit of regression. He pitched better than I could have ever imagined for like 2 months. So again, maybe the White Sox regress a little bit too. That's it. This is a tricky series. And the White Sox are going to be a tricky team in the second half to figure out with how well they played in the first half. All right, for my parlay leg, I'm going to use the Reds. I feel like I know enough about Chuck King. We talked about this. This was the game that opened the show for us. We talked about this game, and I can't believe it's as low as it is. I think the Reds are going to be able to do enough to put Chase Burns in a position to win this game. And I actually think if we lock this in now, we're going to get some line value. I think this is going to creep up as the day goes on. Brian, is it higher than it was at the beginning of the show right now?
It's lower. The American books started coming out, some of the sharper books, and it was about 145 earlier. Now we're looking about 136.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. I'm going to have to go digging into that a little bit again. Like we're starting to get into the territory where this may actually, if this comes down any lower, I may have to throw this on the client card. Again, you're getting Chase Burns, you're getting him at home, and the Phillies are likely piecing this together with King or some of their lesser guys. So after they win last night and they used a little bit of their leverage arms last night, I don't see how you can really not like the Reds at home with Burns on the mound here. So what are we going to call it? Minus 136. Is that good for the parlay?
Sure.
I feel like that's a bargain on the Reds with that pitcher at home at that price. That is a bargain. So we'll go with that. That is the show today. We've made it in on time, even with me getting off track on my laptop chatter. I will have my lighting fixed by tomorrow as I continue to play with the new machine here. Tonight, I've got a 5% play. Hope you join me for that. That's up on my page right now. You can get it as part of the double play package. Freebird coming in at the gun with a donation. Much appreciated. He just says, thanks, gentlemen. Let's have a great winning Wednesday. Let's roll. Absolutely. That's what we're trying to do every day. Go ahead, TB.
Freebird, are you still in Italy or Egypt or something? This guy was writing us from eating breakfast on the Nile River or something. Where are you now?
He had a pretty good Euro trip going. I think he was in Italy, then I think he was in Switzerland. That sounds pretty nice to me. So yeah, hopefully you're having a great day wherever you are. It's going to be a great day for us, and we're going to hit this parlay today. We are going to go with Bryan Leonard's going with Pirates minus 115 on the money line. I'm going to go with the Reds minus 136 on the money line, and Tokyo Brandon is going with Red Sox, White Sox first 5 under 4.5 minus 130. So once again, we've got Reds money line minus 136, Pirates money line minus 115, Red Sox, White Sox first 5 under 4.5 minus 130. That is the 3-teamer today. Check out all the great specials on the WagerTalk site, and the three of us will be back tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern for another Total Basis. We'll see you guys then.